Hello, Advanced Facts. This next project, Manicotti, has been done in lots of little teeny steps and put together for your YouTube viewing. I want to remind you, you have a couple different ways to get a grade here. First off, make the project just like it says in the recipe. Please remember, you do not have to make both the cheese manicotti and the chicken and spinach manicotti. If you want to, you can, but you only have to do one for credit. Second of all, not a lot of substitutions here. So good luck with that one. Third, you're welcome to watch the video and answer the questions. Good luck with manicotti. We're going to be making two different sausages for our manicotti. The first one will be a marinara sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna use my spaghetti recipe. A little change here. I use sausage instead of hamburger. Snowflake Smokehouse has the best sausage. So I browned my sausage. I'm gonna go ahead and add my tomatoes, my basil, my oregano, 1 teaspoon of basil, 2 teaspoons of oregano, a teaspoon of garlic salt, teaspoon of regular salt, and a teaspoon of garlic. And this is gonna go onto the stove and it's gonna simmer while I get everything else ready. And right before that manicotti's ready to go in the oven, I'll put this on and it will give me great flavor. So I'm ready to go ahead and put my manicotti noodles in. I've got my water boiling and I'm actually gonna go for 2 of these because I'm gonna make some extra manicotti. When I make manicotti, I tend to make extra and freeze it because it's such a huge process and it freezes really well, so I can make 2 or 3 meals with this. It's gonna go into the pan. I've got my salted water. And just really gently gonna set those in there. I'm gonna cook these for 7 minutes. I want them to be a little on the not quite done side so that they're very easy to stuff. See you back in 10. I put this chicken on to cook and then went for a run. So it was raw chicken breast with some water, a little bit of salt, and I let it cook and boil. And now I'm gonna use it for my chicken manicotti. The second kind of sauce that we're going to be making is an Alfredo sauce. There are lots of different recipes for Alfredo. This is my favorite because I have every ingredient always in my kitchen. It uses butter, cream cheese, and milk. I'll teach you how to do that. I'm making 2 different types of manicotti. You don't have to make them both. I make them both because I don't know which one's my favorite. I take a bite of the meat and cheese manicotti and I think, oh, this is so delicious. And then I take a bite of the spinach and chicken with Alfredo over the top of it and I go, no, this is it. So we're gonna make both of them. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start my Alfredo and I'm just gonna let it slowly cook. I'm gonna take 1 cube of butter. and 1 cube of cream cheese. And I'm just gonna leave that in my pan. It's on as low as it will go, and I put it on the small burner, and I'm just gonna let that butter slowly melt and let that cream cheese slowly melt as well. Put the cream cheese in with that butter, and those two are just gonna slowly melt. Like I said, I've got it on low, and I'm just gonna put my lid on that and let those melt. Manicotti noodles have cooked for 7 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drain those. Like I said, they're gonna be a tad bit on the too al dente side, but that's okay because it makes it easier to work with when we stuff them. Lock the glasses up there. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take these over, and I've given myself a big square of tin foil, and I'm gonna dump these on the tin foil so that they can cool off just a tad bit before I have to start handling them. So we're gonna start off by getting the cheese stuffing for the cheese manicotti ready. It calls for 2 cups of mozzarella, and I always do the cheese one first because if I have any leftover cheese stuffing, I use it in my chicken and spinach, and that just makes the chicken and spinach that much better. I need 1 cup of ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese is really nasty, in my opinion, when you eat it like this. It's gritty, it kind of tastes like it has sand in it or something like that, but when you put it into the tubes and then you melt it, it is so creamy and rich. So we're gonna put that into here, and we're gonna mix. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stuff my cheese manicotti. The best way to do this is to take, and yes, my hands are clean, take a handful of manicotti, kind of roll it into a snake, and stuff it down that tube. So with my leftover ricotta cheese and mozzarella cheese mixture, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add that to my chicken and spinach and just add a little bit of cheese to it. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic salt. Salt it like I would if I were just gonna eat it right now. The chicken and spinach is a little bit harder to stuff because with the cheese, it's stuck together. With the chicken and spinach, it doesn't. So you're just gonna have to just squeeze a little, stuff it in, squeeze a little, stuff it in, and get it in there. Now I'm gonna make 2 different pans. The first pan was my cheese, and that will have my marinara sauce on it. The second pan will be my chicken and spinach, and that will have the Alfredo sauce on it. And I just checked my Alfredo sauce, and it's almost ready. We're gonna go ahead, now that the butter and the cream cheese have had a chance to soften up, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start by trying to incorporate these 2 together. Now this is a tough job to get the cream cheese and the butter together. And you notice I'm using my whisk. If you stir and stir, and you wanna do it on a low temperature, if you stir and stir, and you see how I create nice little messes on my cupboard. If you can't get it to incorporate, if you'll add just a teeny tiny bit of milk to it, you'll get it to start incorporating it together. So I'm going to add just a teeny bit of milk to it and get it to start incorporating it together. For some reason, that little bit of milk just makes it so that they want to join together a little bit better. There we go. If you don't get the cream cheese and the butter incorporated together, then you have a hard time not having a butter layer on your Alfredo. So now that I've got it incorporated in, nice and creamy, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the rest of my 2 cups of milk to it. Now this looks really, really runny, and it will thicken as it cooks. Okay. I also am going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic salt to it, just to give it a little bit of flavor. That's the salt I want to add, and that's going to cook and thicken it. All right, this marinara sauce has had about 30 minutes of cooking time. The color on it is beautiful, and it's had a chance for all of those different herbs to incorporate in. We're gonna take this marinara sauce and we're gonna put it over the cheese manicotti. And because we didn't cook those noodles till perfect al dente, we're going to use a little bit of this moisture from the marinara sauce to finish cooking up those noodles. They are gonna bake, but we're actually gonna wait and do those tomorrow. And when I teach this in school, you guys make your sauce and you stuff your noodles one day and then we bake it the next day. So it's not gonna be any different. All right, then I'm gonna take some Parmesan cheese and I'm gonna sprinkle some Parmesan cheese. That looks beautiful. Now, this tin foil that I used for all of my noodles, I'm gonna cut it in half, and that's gonna be the covering on my manicotti. All right, we're ready to take our Alfredo sauce and put it over our chicken and spinach manicotti. It's a nice thick sauce. We want it to be just a tad bit on the runny side because just like with the cheese manicotti, the al dente noodles are just a tad bit too undercooked. And so we want to go ahead and let that Alfredo sauce cook into the noodles to soften them up to that perfect al dente. We're going to have a little bit of leftover mozzarella cheese. So we're going to sprinkle a little bit of mozzarella cheese on here. And then we'll finish it with some Parmesan. A little bit more than I thought. It's going to be delicious and cheesy though. Now we'll go ahead, sprinkle some Parmesan on. And that's ready to go in the oven for tomorrow. We're going to be putting both our manicottis in the oven at 350 degrees. We'll start out with tin foil on, and then the last about 10 minutes, we'll go with taking the tin foil off so it can get that cheese melted really good. We're gonna start out at 30 minutes and check it. We'll see you then. The manicotti's ready. It looks delicious. Got a nice golden brown on my chicken and spinach manicotti. There's my cheese manicotti. Cheese on top is melted and delicious. It's time to serve dinner. I've got manicotti and a spinach salad. Sure hope you enjoy it. Bon appetit.